Today on the Morning Edition, election results are soon to be certified, marking the end of the current assembly, but there are still matters for them to discuss. We'll break down what happened at a special meeting and what it means for how you watch your tax dollars. Plus, America's favorite teacher might be from Alaska, and now the favorite student might be as well. We'll introduce you to a student leading the polls. And later, this happy pup is named Reeves, and she is living her best life as a gym dog. We'll show you how her second chance became her perfect forever home and how she's a bit of a local celebrity as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Thursday morning, everyone. I think we could use a news dog.
I think so. There's actually some news stations that have done that. They have a weather dog that will just like sit there by while they're doing the weather. Or, you know,
so
we might have to ask our boss for that.
Let's do it.
That'd be nice. Oh, we are waking up this morning. We've got some ongoing rain that continues to remain with us across the South Central. Of course, heaviest activity has been confined to coastal regions, inland locations. We have been much drier, but we're still seeing that ample moisture available with us. As a result of that, we've got those overcast skies that are staying with us, and we are going to continue to keep those cloudy conditions as we close out the week. In addition to that, we're also going to continue to hold on to winds of about 20 to 30 miles per hour. That actually kept temperatures warm through the night as we are waking up in the 40s. So we've got that south to southeasterly flow, and that southeasterly flow is actually our rain shadow, which is why inland locations have been significantly drier compared to what the coast has been seeing. So we've continued to hold on to some of that widespread rain for coastal areas through Prince William Sound. And then as you head out towards our western parts of the Susitna Valley, this is where we are going to be watching the potential for some flooding as we head through the next couple of days. And that flood watch is in effect through Saturday morning. We've also got areas of the Alaska range where we're expected to see some high winds. Those winds will drive in those warmer conditions through the interior, of which we're already seeing this morning as temperatures are about 20 plus degrees warmer compared to yesterday. Now, over the last 24 hours, heaviest rainfall again has been out towards coastal areas. We've got up to 4/10 of an inch of rain out towards Portage, 4/10 of an inch out towards Seward. And then you can see inland locations have seen a few hundredths of an inch to nearly 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. So our rain shadow is winning out. But what we are going to be watching is that increased activity later this evening for more rain to build inland. And of course, that heaviest rainfall will remain near the coast, where we'll likely see 2 to 4 plus inches by week's end. That's what we're going to be watching as we close out this week. Now, the interior, high winds and warmer weather, while southeast, you'll be dealing with dry, quiet, and warm conditions. Of course, we'll start off with South Central as we'll see the greatest impacts coming up in your full forecast with that 7-day.
Some current members of the Anchorage Assembly are preparing to finish their time as the municipal election wraps up. Joe Allgood was at the special meeting last night and spoke with some of them about a possible change to municipal code that could mean less oversight.
We're nearing the certification of the Anchorage election and along with it the end of this current assembly, who's holding a special meeting on Wednesday to discuss, among other things, public reporting. Assembly Chair Chris Constant is almost done with his 9 years on the dais.
I'm walking out the door. I'm feeling pretty grateful to the voters for telling me that the status quo is actually a pretty good deal for them.
But before he goes, some of the status quo might still change, including a code that requires quarterly reports from the municipal attorney on all settlement. During the Bronson administration, legislation that required the reports passed due to the number of, quote, high-dollar settlements and indemnifications. The Muni Attorney's Office feels the reports are no longer necessary and that there are more protective ways to communicate that information than in the public forum.
There's always a tension between risk and transparency, and this is a constant navigation of how to do this. Attorneys have attorney-client privilege for a reason. The mayor is not subject to the Open Meetings Act in the same way that we are on the Assembly.
I have some questions that remain unanswered in my mind. Certainly, I think as a general principle, more transparency is better.
The last meeting of this Assembly is next Tuesday, where they'll officially certify the election. Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
You may remember just last week, a police canine unit was shot and lost a toe. Well, today, he's up and playing, but still has a bit of a limp. Anchorage Police Canine Kiska was injured when gunshots were exchanged between police and a suspect. Video recently released shows Kiska looking like he's on the mend, running, but still wearing a protective boot. He seems relatively unfazed, despite losing a toe during the gunfire. Now the question about whether Kiska returns to police service has not yet been answered. Here's what Chief Sean Case had to say days after the shooting.
There's a few different questions that we have to answer before we can determine whether or not the dog will be back in service.
The investigation into the shooting remains ongoing. Under department policy, Alaska's Office of Special Prosecutions will review the officer's use of force to determine whether it was justified. In continuing coverage, 25 dogs found dead on a Mat-Su property. A Willow woman was arrested on 26 cruelty to animal charges, now in front of a judge. Johnson Kuhn was in Palmer when the 35-year-old woman appeared for court for the first time.
It was a full courtroom here in Palmer for Misty Reeder's arraignment as investigators continue to look into what troopers say they found on a property in the Caswell Lakes area earlier this month.
Your name, ma'am? Misty Reeder.
Reeder appeared virtually in court, which was filled with many from the community holding signs featuring pictures of the dogs and their names to show their disapproval for her alleged actions. Alaska State Troopers say they were asked April 15th to help Mat-Su Borough Animal Control with an animal welfare investigation in the Caswell Lakes area between Talkeetna and Willow. Troopers say they found 25 dead dogs and opened a criminal animal cruelty investigation. In court Wednesday, the judge addressed the 26 counts of cruelty to animals Reeder now faces.
This complaint alleges 26 counts. They're all the same. They're each cruelty to animals. They're each Class C felonies. They each carry with them a maximum imprisonment of 5 years in jail and a maximum fine of $50,000.
As we've previously reported, Mat-Su Borough leaders say it's also reviewing its own response after public complaints and questions about earlier reports.
There's something not right here.
Public complaints continued Tuesday night during a Mat-Su City Council meeting, where community members like Kathleen Frederick expressed ongoing frustrations for how they feel the situation was mishandled.
Multiple complaints from 10 or more individuals were made about these dogs, and he told various people things like Misty had a hard year.
We are pleased to see the swift movement by the troopers and the DA to move forward with the arrest.
Borough Manager Mike Brown has acknowledged those public comments, saying it will take time to work through the facts. He says the borough is currently working with troopers and will also be reviewing its own enforcement actions.
The borough routinely supports DPS in their efforts when it has to do with the borough providing evidence.
Reeder's next court appearance is set for May 4th, where a third-party custodian will be determined. Her bail is set at $25,000, and she also has an eviction hearing scheduled for May 5th. And troopers say this investigation is still ongoing. Johnson Kuhn, Alaska's news source.
This week marks National Pediatric Transplant Week, a time to honor children who receive and give the gift of life. We're sharing the story of 10-year-old Kayla Curry from Fairbanks, a self-proclaimed warrior whose final quest helped save other children. Her parents say organ donation turned their loss into hope for families they may never meet. In December of 2015, Kayla died suddenly from a medical condition, but her family says her story didn't end there. Her parents chose organ donation, honoring what they call her warrior spirit. Through Life Center Northwest, Kayla's kidney, liver, heart valves, and corneas went to patients in need. Her parents want to share her story, hoping more families in Alaska will consider registering as organ donors.
It was a hard decision, but it wasn't one that we hesitated on. Knowing that, it's 5 days before Christmas, and it's something she would have wanted. That was, I think, one of the biggest considerations she would have wanted, and she would have chosen if she had a chance to.
Currently, there are more than 100,000 people in the United States on the transplant waiting list. You can read more on this story on our website or mobile app. We spoke to a teacher looking to be named America's favorite teacher. Turns out Alaska has a student looking to do something similar. Jace Bertrand spoke with Dax Leonard to learn what he thinks gives him a shot at becoming America's favorite student.
Look out, America. 6-year-old Dax Leonard has his eye on the prize, throwing his hat in the ring to become America's favorite student.
I had 3 different people send links to me being like, hey, so you think we should put Dax in this? And we signed him up for it, and he's just been killing it since.
I've been first place since it started.
Despite only being in kindergarten at Birchwood, ABC, and Chugiak, Dax is quite the intelligent kid, having a love of math and science.
We get to do different things every day.
The competition has students sorted into groups, while their friends and families vote to see who ranks as the most popular. Each week, the pool gets narrower, though that doesn't seem to be a problem for Dax.
He's been killing it. He was in second place for like an hour or two in the middle of the night last night, but that was about it.
Don't call my rankings too bad.
If he wins it all, Dax will win a trip to a science camp in California, a $20,000 cash prize, an article in Reader's Digest, and a meeting with the one and only Bill Nye the Science Guy. Dax and his mother, Sydney, however, seem to have different ideas on what to do with the cash prize.
I'm not going to spend it on college.
Oh, you're definitely going to spend it on college.
No, I'm not.
It'd go toward a couple like STEM camps over different summers and then put most of it into just a savings account to wait for college.
The Leonards hope this competition will bring more attention to students in the last frontier.
Even way out here in the middle of nowhere, we got some incredibly brilliant kids up here in Alaska. And I'm very, very proud of this brilliant little lunatic.
Jace Bertrand, Alaska's news source.
Still ahead on the Morning Edition. Wednesday was Earth Day, and aren't we lucky to live in a state that showcases our planet's beauty? In Anchorage, there was a big downtown party to celebrate. We'll check it out after this.
Heavy rainfall remains with South Central to close out the week with the heaviest activity near the coast, but also a flood watch west of Parks Highway. I'll have more on that. First at sunrise, 6:13 in Anchorage, 5:24 in
Welcome back in on this Thursday morning. Aside from Monday, Aaron, it's been a pretty gloomy week.
Yeah, and we're still holding on to those overcast skies. You may notice right there those windy conditions picking up out towards, as you head out towards the Baldy and Eagle River. As far as what we are dealing with this morning, we continue to hold on to that widespread activity that's building into coastal regions of South Central. Our area of low pressure, our parent low, still out towards the Bering Sea near the Pribilof Islands. That is going to steadily build off towards the north. Now, we're still going to see locations out towards the Seward Peninsula as well as Gamble, St. Lawrence, pick up a couple of inches of additional snow accumulation as well as some gusty winds. Those winter weather advisories as well as blizzard warnings out west, those expire tomorrow morning. But what we continue to see across the state is this ridge that is with us. That's greatly influencing southeast, keeping things fairly quiet and warm for you. But with this low out towards the Bering and our high as we head into southern parts of the Gulf of Alaska, we've got our ridge that's building in across the state. That's driving in that warmth, but it's also pulling in plenty of moisture that we're going to see here across South Central. You can see that stream of moisture, which is taking aim on coastal areas as that moisture slams into, or that water vapor slams into the mountains of South Central. That's going to force it upward, which leads to that condensing. And that is why we're going to continue to hold on to some of that widespread rainfall. But we're still holding on to some of that isolated to scattered activity as you head out west. Again, those winter weather advisories and blizzard warnings will still lead to additional snow accumulation. Bigger concern will be those winds, which will still lead to some blowing snow and reduced visibility. But this morning, we've got the heaviest rain near the coast. We did see some light rain showers overnight for inland areas of South Central, as well as locations west of the Parks Highway. What we're going to see through the day, any rain showers we have inland, those kind of fizzle out throughout the afternoon hours, and we'll really see most of the rain take aim on coastal regions of South Central and areas west of the Parks Highway. In fact, that is where we do have a flood watch in effect, and that's largely due to the snow and rain, or the rain and snow melt that we will see for locations west of the Parks Highway. So Willow, Squint now towards Trapper Creek. This is where we could see the potential for some flooding as we close out this week and welcome in the weekend. But you can see heavy rainfall for coastal areas, while inland locations, we'll just keep with these waves of showers that will move into inland areas. And it's going to be a wet end to the week. We're going to be talking about anywhere from 2 to 4+ inches of rainfall for coastal areas. 1 to 3 inches looks possible within this flood watch. And again, this is in effect until Saturday morning. 4 areas primarily west of the Parks Highway. What this entails is flooding caused by rain and snowmelt is possible, with impacts being the flooding of creeks, streams, low-lying areas, and those flood-prone locations. So be mindful of that as we head through the rest of this week. But again, 2 to 4 inches of rain looks possible for coastal areas, and then there's that 1 to 3 inches. You can see possibly higher amounts as you head west of the Parks Highway. Now, most of the populated areas for inland locations, we will be up under that rain shadow, but we'll still see that potential for anywhere from 1/4 to about 1/2 an inch of rainfall. And again, that's going to come in waves. So we will be watching for that to close out the week. Highs in the mid to upper 40s. We'll keep with some showers as we welcome in next week, but of course, much drier conditions expected.
All right, thanks, Aaron. For many, Earth Day is about connecting to the earth and each other. Photojournalist Peter Jackson takes us to the Earth Day block party in downtown Anchorage.
Today's Earth Day, April 22nd, every year. We're having what we're calling an Earth Day block party. We were just looking for an excuse to get the community together, to celebrate the Earth and to learn a little bit more about how we can treat the Earth better going forward. And thank you so much to the museum for co-sponsoring and hosting this event with us. And really the message and the tone of this event is just, we love the Earth. We want to hang out with people who also love the Earth. We want to celebrate it together. We want to learn things together. I think that people who see more of the earth and feel more connected to it are just bound to take better care of it. And I think in Alaska, we have such a unique connection to the earth and to wilderness just because it's in our backyard. We see wildlife everywhere. We fish, we hunt, we understand our place in the earth. And so the more we can get people outside and make those connections of how taking care of the earth will make, our lives, the fun parts of our life better too and more sustainable, I think is important. Sierra Club's mission is to enjoy, explore, and protect the earth. And we invited a big range of organizations who sort of get at the heart of that mission.
Yeah, thank you.
Alaska Community Action on Toxics, we do a lot of things. We celebrate Earth Day every day. And we have work that we do on a local level. We have a park cleanup that we're doing on May 9th and even international level. Our ED is actually in Palawan, Philippines, working on the plastics treaty right now.
We're going to have information on renewable energy. We're going to have information on group hikes in Anchorage this summer. So a wide range of different ways to celebrate the earth and to take better care of it from both an individual scale to a large community scale.
With climate change, we're seeing some new types of diseases in our fish and wildlife and our plants as well.
Also on Earth Day, we took a look at conservation and preservation of Alaska's plants and habitats. We visited the herbarium at UAA, where 16,000 Alaskan species are preserved. Mostly plants, but some bees and insects as well. The library is used for research by scientists and students at the university. Aaron Larson, director of the Alaska Center for Conservation Science, says we're all scientists and wants Alaskans to be aware of this special place where we live.
I have a 2.5-year-old, and I feel like a word I hear a lot is why and what and who and where, all the questions. And I think one of the things that's most important for us to do is to pay attention, right? To really pay attention to whether it's our yards or the places that we care about, that we go and play and recreate and fish and hunt in.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting. Available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.